Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrack. Big shout out to all the iTrack fam tapping in like you always do. And yes, the plaque has arrived. Man, nothing but gratitude. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tapping in like you always do. 100,000 subscribers and no signs of stopping, man. I appreciate you guys. This is a big milestone. It just kind of confirms the idea that repetition is the father of learning, and also consistency is the key. In everything that you do, you definitely got to be consistent. So, hey, thank you guys. And if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy TikToks and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, and join the iTrack fam. And let's just jump straight into it.
I've never seen anything like this, guys. Look at this. How big that storm is, how big that one is, the big one coming from and that's the big one people are talking about, California. Then you look out here to the East Coast, and then this. How are there giant storms across the entire planet? And that's for February 14th. Let's look a little bit more in the future. And we talked about this before, February 16th. Look at the size of this, guys. Stretching from the East Coast to Europe. Just thought I'd give you guys another heads up. February 18th, look at the size of this storm, guys. Touching coast to coast, across continents. February 20th. And possibly the worst day of them all, February 21st. Look at the size of this, guys, coming for Europe, United Kingdom, and Ireland. So, prediction, February is going to be very messy in terms of weather, guys. Just a heads up. But really, guys, legitimately, I've never seen anything like this. Boom, 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 boom. 5 monster storms. What do you guys think? Is this normal, or is something else going on here?
A study conducted by U.S. Army intelligence has suggested that reincarnation is real because consciousness never dies. Entitled Analysis and Assessment of the Gateway Process, the 29-page report was drafted by U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Wayne M. McDonnell in 1983 and declassified by the CIA in 2003. The research has resurfaced on social media, with Chicago-based comedian Sarah Holcomb summarizing the findings, saying, "We're pretty sure reincarnation is real." The report says consciousness is energy, and it exists outside of our understanding of reality, and energy never dies. The mind-bending official Pentagon study was commissioned to better understand what its Army intel colleagues were doing, sending personnel to a small institute in Charlottesville, Virginia, that was working on the Gateway experience. The then secretive Gateway Project, based on McDowell's analysis, was a training system designed to bring enhanced strength, focus, and coherence to alter consciousness. Now, I don't buy the reincarnation angle here, but it does go to show just how insufficient are these secular explanations for consciousness. Because secular mainstream science really has no explanation for consciousness. It can't say how consciousness came about or even what it is exactly.
Hey, and that's facts, because they were using words like, "I'm pretty sure consciousness exists." Now, if you listen really carefully to the verbiage that they use, you'll kind of draw that conclusion as well, that they are taking a very, very, very educated guess, but a guess nonetheless.
Elon Musk has had a complicated love life, with the billionaire sharing 12 children with 3 different women. Just this week, his relationship with Siobhan Zilis was back in the spotlight after the 36-year-old joined Musk and his children at a meeting with the Indian Prime Minister. Zilis, a mother of 3 of Musk's children, also serves as the director of operations at Neuralink, the company Musk co-founded. Their connection first came to light in 2021, when it was revealed that Siobhan had twins with Musk through IVF. Just weeks later, Musk had another child with his ex-girlfriend Grimes, who was unaware about the twins at the time. Elon also shares 5 kids with his first wife, author Justine Musk, whom he married in 2000 and divorced in 2008. Musk confirmed that he and Zilis had another child together earlier in 2024. In October, reports revealed that Siobhan had moved into a $35 million compound Musk bought for his many children to live together. Since then, Zilis has appeared at several high-profile events, including one at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, but neither has spoken publicly about their relationship status.
I don't think he's too much focused on parenting life. And I think that's just part of the caveat. That's one of the sacrifices you have to make to be in his position.
2017, archaeologists unearthed the colossal head of a sphinx. But this wasn't in Egypt. It was on a beach in California. And beneath the surface of the sand, there were several more artifacts waiting for them. But how was it possible that these artifacts were here in California? It turns out what they had found was the lost Egypt of DeMille. In 1923, a filmmaker had built an insanely huge faux Egypt set for his film, The Ten Commandments. Once shooting was over, DeMille decided that the set was too big to take with him, so he blew it up with dynamite and bulldozed it all into a 300-foot trench where it has laid ever since.
Do you believe your son intended to do a Nazi salute?
No. Elon was so nervous getting out there. He's not good at public speaking.
So you think he did that out of nerves?
Oh, yes. I mean, I could see him struggling, trying to get through the few things he has to say as fast as possible.
Because he was hopping around. He looked very comfortable.
No, he was trying very hard to speak quickly and get off. Photos were sent to me of Hillary Clinton, Obama, Kamala Harris, and all these people doing exactly the same thing. So even much more like that.
So
whereas Elon just went like that.
No. Elon tucked the thumb and everything. He
Oh no!
It felt like the Fuhrer was in the room.
No. Elon didn't do anything like that.
Tell me you've seen this.
Pigs, shellfish, dogs, cats, and skunks, because those are all animals. Those animals are not meant to be eaten. They're meant to grab waste from the environment, store it, and then they die. Mm-hmm. They're not waste removal systems. They are garbage cans. So if you look at a pig or a dog or a cat or a skunk, and you might say, no one would ever eat a dog, cat, or skunk. They do in other countries. Mm-hmm. But particularly, we are infatuated with pork, and so are European countries, I've noticed, particularly Italy. A pig has a structure that is similar to a human, and that is a monogastric. It has one stomach. The animals God says to eat in Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy 14 that are land animals, I'm talking about cow, goat, sheep, buffalo. They have a 4-chamber stomach where they can chew the cud or the grass, digest it, and become powerful, well-muscled animals, whereas pigs will eat anything.
I love how he broke that all the way down to the point where now we know why cows and goats have multiple stomachs, and pigs and cats, they only have one, but they're eating everything. It's pretty wild.
The fastest way to read a human being, number one way, is to keep one question in your head. It is, what does this person want me to feel about them? And what do they want me to notice? Number one. So what do they want me to notice about them? And that's going to show you the beginnings of understanding the mask that people wear.
That, and you could just let people talk. The first time you're meeting somebody, generally they'll do a lot of talking. And within that short amount of time, probably 2 to 5 minutes, they'll tell you exactly who they are. That's a fact.
What if everything you see, everything you touch, even the people you know, what if all of it is just a hyper-realistic simulation? Like The Matrix, but maybe even weirder. This isn't just science fiction. It's a theory put forward by philosopher Nick Bostrom, and it's got some eerie connections to ancient beliefs that say, not all of us are truly real. Bostrom's simulation hypothesis argues that it's not only possible, but actually likely that we're living in a computer simulation. His logic is wild, but surprisingly convincing. He says that if advanced civilizations eventually have the tech to create super-realistic simulations of their ancestors' lives, they'd probably run tons of these simulations. Think about it. Like how we run millions of video games and virtual worlds today. If that's the case, then statistically, the chances we're living in the one real reality are slim compared to the countless simulated ones. Basically, we're probably characters in someone else's video game. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. This idea isn't entirely new. It echoes some ancient philosophies, especially Gnosticism. The Gnostics believed the physical world was an illusion created by a flawed lesser deity. A kind of cosmic programmer, if you will. They thought our true selves were divine sparks trapped in this fake material world. Sound familiar? It's a lot like Bostrom's idea of consciousness being simulated within a digital reality. Gnosticism also talked about soulless beings, People who looked human but didn't have the divine spark, just like NPCs in video games. These were beings who simply went through the motions, part of the illusion to challenge or guide those with real souls. If you mash that up with Bostrom's theory, it makes you wonder, if we're in a simulation, could some people just be background characters, designed to fill the world and interact with the players? It's a creepy thought, but it fits. Both Bostrom's theory and Gnosticism ask the same haunting question. How do we know what's real? And even scarier, what if most of what we think is real isn't? It's the kind of stuff that'll keep you up at night, questioning everything and everyone around you.
Justin Bieber was photographed out in public wearing a robe, and fans are concerned. Blind items have been alleging that he is not doing well at all. This latest blind item alleges that someone is watching him all the time to make sure that nothing happens to him. Everything in this video is alleged, not confirmation of validity of allegations. The North of the Border singer is being watched 24/7 just to make sure nothing happens to him. And again, this is allegedly Justin Bieber. And the related blind item reads, the North of the Border singer is in a really bad way right now. He really needs professional help that he is not getting. This next one reads, the North of the Border singer is mixing meds and booze and other things and needs to get that straight or there is going to be a very bad ending. This next one reads, this A-list social media star who is married to a guy who was groomed and does groom should really make sure the husband is not trying to get rid of her permanently. And this is allegedly Hailey Bieber and Justin. This last one reads, this North of the Border singer is certainly not acting like he is married. This is the most open he has been about it in a very long time. The related headline reads, Justin Bieber sparks worries after wearing a bathrobe out in public amid Hailey Bieber split rumors.
Grab your wallets and pull out any $1 bills you have. Because if the series date on them says 2013, they could be worth up to $150,000. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing says here's what happened. They accidentally printed about 6.4 million banknotes between 2014 and 2016 with matching serial numbers. The Federal Bank in New York issued a batch, and so did the one in Washington, D.C. Only 9 pairs with matching serial numbers have been found so far, so there are a lot of others out there.
I know there's somebody right now watching this video that's sitting on the lottery ticket. Go ahead and get your money. Get your money, man.
Did OJ do it?
OJ Simpson was not capable, in my opinion, of doing what they said he did. There were many other people around that were involved that did. His daughter Arnell, who was my costume designer 23 years ago, while I watched people try to disgrace and scandalize her name, and she still had the balls to pull up on set in a white Bronco.
Oh, whoa, wow, whoa.
Arnell Simpson is one of the most gangster females I've ever known.
You're telling me Pirates of the Caribbean told us about the ice wall?
Oh, come on, man. It's literally in the title.
My God, at World's End.
Starting to make sense? I mean, look, it's an exact parallel, right? They're literally going to the edge of the world, right? They take a ship all the way out into the unknown depths of the ocean, okay? They go through a blizzarding tundra with massive ice barriers in order to reach this unknown part of the world, right? I mean, it literally couldn't be more of a literal parallel to this ice wall that we speculate is at the outskirts of our observable reality. It's really just a classic use of symbolism, right? Just kind of insert the truth into these movies, kind of passing it off as this fictional concept, right? When in all actuality, they're kind of subconsciously showing us these ancient truths, okay? And it's not just Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, we saw it in Ice Age, right? They're literally encompassed by a massive ice wall, okay? They believe this valley that they live in is the only place that exists. I mean, hell, there's probably a dozen more movies where you could find similar symbolism, right? I mean, the more you look, it's really just everywhere, man. But people would rather just be ignorant.
These are just some of the major changes for America that Trump made official yesterday. He signed an executive order reinstating the death penalty for any illegal migrant who commits a capital crime and anyone convicted of murdering a law enforcement officer. He declared a national border emergency, halting all illegal entry immediately, which also paves the way for U.S. troops to be sent to the southern border. He delayed the TikTok ban by 75 days. He ordered 2 name changes, the Gulf of America and Alaska's Mount Denali to Mount McKinley. He officially signed called Doge into existence, which is the new department led by Elon to cut government spending. He signed a mandate where all federal workers must work in the office, saying that over half of the 2 million federal employees either work regularly from home or are fully remote. He pardoned about 1,500 defendants charged in the January 6th attack on the US Capitol. He signed an order to restore freedom of speech in America and end government censorship. He reversed 78 Biden administration regulations, including pausing foreign aid, reversing the acceptance of gender identity, now only recognizing 2 genders. And the other is to do with the pandemic, and I can't even say it on here, otherwise the video will get censored. Go to my YouTube for that. He is removing America from the World Health Organization in 12 months, saying that they are ripping off the country and the United States will stop all financial contributions to their work. He withdrew America from the Paris Climate Agreement for the second time, calling it an unfair, one-sided ripoff. I mean, that was just part of a much broader effort to roll back climate policy, because he also declared a national energy state of emergency, promising to fill up oil reserves and drill baby drill, and also cut off climate-related funding, which was approved under the Biden administration. And all of that was day one. So the question is, does this excite or scare you?
Oh, dude, it's so cold.
It's so good.
Dude, there's a brick wall.
No.
Sealed? No trespassing? Sealed by federal government? What?
Well, it's definitely mine.
Huh. In 1940, too.
That is wild.
Dude, look, you could get under there.
Holy crap, dude. Nah, that's too tight. You can pass a camera under that.
Look there, this is supposed to be like a sump.
And dude, look at all the coal in the ground.
What?
Look at that. It's so lightweight.
Huh. It's all coal.
Dude. This is insane, man. And then look over here, you can see a bunch of like, whoa, dude, look at these fuzzy crystals. Holy crap, dude! What? Oh, not crystals. Oh,
they're like mess. Look at this little thing in there.
What is this, dude?
You good?
Oh, in the water.
Oh, we're wading through the water now.
Yeah. Cool.
Pretty deep.
Little crab.
Whoa! What?
Dude, is this an arrowhead?
I think that's just a rock, right?
I mean, it looks like it's been napped.
Oh my god, dude, look. It's got the little handle part on it.
Dude.
What? Look, yeah.
Is it?
It's all chipped up.
I know, it looks like flint or something.
Told you love potions never went away. In fact, they're on the rise again, and Valentine's Day is the perfect time to execute the plan. You see, love potions weren't just stories from fairy tales, they were real. Ancient alchemical brews crafted during fertility festivals and secret ceremonies. Back then, they were designed to lower inhibitions, heighten emotions, and create powerful bonds between two people. But here's the kicker, they never truly disappeared, and now they're making a comeback. In recent years, the number of people practicing witchcraft has skyrocketed, from spellcasting groups to online covens. It's everywhere, and Valentine's Day, it's not just about romance anymore. For those practicing modern witchcraft, it's the perfect opportunity to execute their plans. Think about it, drinks, chocolates, or even seemingly innocent gestures, these could all be vehicles for their potions. Carefully crafted concoctions designed to amplify emotions, spark obsessions, and bind people to their will. Here's the wild part. Many of these potions rely on compounds that mimic the effects of love, things that manipulate dopamine spikes and create artificial attachments, and they're hidden in plain sight, disguised as part of the Valentine's Day tradition. Ancient rulers used till today use a concoction of chemicals in the food and water to manipulate alliances and control populations. What if history is repeating itself, but this time it's not kings and queens pulling the strings? So the next time you accept a drink or bite into that Valentine's chocolate, ask yourself, is it just a sweet treat? Or is it a spell designed to control you? Because love potions never went away. They've just evolved. And now they're being used in ways you never expected. Look, if they come for me and my page disappears tomorrow, you'll only find my content on other platforms. The link's in my bio. And one last thing, I'm going to go ahead and say this is just a joke for entertainment purposes.
Now, it is people out here really doing that, that voodoo, that trickery. It's a rule of thumb, a common law, right? Common rule. You really just want somebody that wants you. You really don't want to force somebody to want you. That's not what you want.
There is a thing about a guy who used to work in the Navy in the 70s. They placed an acoustic sensor device all throughout the ocean floor in the certain areas. This was to map the ocean floor, detect submarines, and find other anomalies and stuff. One of the contacts while in the Navy who worked on the ASW team who was responsible for monitoring the sensors and everything. They would discuss underwater submersible objects that detected that would travel at thousands of miles per hour underwater.
What are you talking about?
He said they also have detected various structures underwater that are active and that they stay clear of. And so those might be like volcanoes or whatever, but they're detecting actual anomalies underwater. Portland from a guy that worked in the Navy in the 1970s.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was in the 70s? They were tracking this stuff?
When they placed the sensor devices in on the ocean floor.
That is so cool.
So,
you know how you get stoked about space?
Yeah.
I get stoked about the ocean.
Well, those are probably like alien stuff, though.
Yes!
Oh.
They're meeting.
Dude, the ocean freaks me out way more than space.
Here's the trippiest part. All right, so I had hieroglyphics in my room. Woke me up almost nightly for about a month. And I'm like, writing walls, but lit up. So I'm like, all right. So I went and I invested in blackout shades. Got everything to where there was no light in the room. And I put clothes everywhere and stuff and just like threw stuff everywhere, like bells and different stuff. And I'm like, all right, because obviously, and then I put a Sharpie and I just chucked it off the wall. And I'm like, the room's pitch black.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, this will prove to me that I can't, like, that the room doesn't light up with hieroglyphics at night.
Yeah.
So about a week in, wake up, full room's all lit up, hieroglyphics. I'm like,
so you feel like you're waking up and then you're looking and there's stuff
up
on the wall.
Yeah, it's like writing, but it's like a movie. I'm sure I just saw a movie somewhere, but so I got like basically like it looks like I'm inside an Egyptian like a pyramid.
Yeah.
And I got there's hieroglyphics all over the wall, and I'm like, all right, room's lit up. So I get out of bed and I walk around and I go back in the corner and pick up the Sharpie. I'm like, yeah, room's definitely lit up. Found the Sharpie, walk back, put the Sharpie to the wall, and the room goes black. Right as I was starting to write my first line. Because I was going to Sharpie the whole room up for like a Beautiful Mind kind of thing. Like start, I got to see if they mean anything. But from that point on, I'm like, all right, somehow I was able to get up in my sleep and find a Sharpie that I threw across the room in the dark without tripping or hitting anything. Well, maybe I did. Maybe it was like, what was that movie where the guy drives the Lamborghini back and then he was like, yeah, it's fine. Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. That could have been me. So I got no video proof of this. But anyway, so yeah, I've just gone to the theory that I have some screws loose, and they've been loose since before I had my first concussion.
And you know what? The reason why that's interesting is Travis Pastrana has been doing this thing for a long time. I remember he set the world record. I think he did a double backflip on a dirt bike. I watched a documentary about him, and he suffers from like this rare condition where he just can't feel any fear. Like he doesn't fear anything. So for him to go from, breaking world records, and now later on in life seeing those kind of hieroglyphs and things like that, it's interesting. I wonder what the connection is.
They've been teleporting particles, and now they can teleport a series of molecules. So they're getting bigger and bigger. So they teleported particles from Earth to the International Space Station and back. So we can teleport now. They're finding ways to even teleport through the internet now. So this is crazy. What was the biggest thing holding us back from teleporting bigger objects like a human being, a more complex organism? Storage space. The data to know all the trillions of atoms in your body and the exact location and position they're in to put them back together and reassemble them. Because when you teleport, you die. Oh, wow. So teleportation, it pulls you apart atom by atom, and the original version of you no longer exists. It reassembles you. It's a reincarnation. So anything that's teleported from one end to the next, the original thing is gone. The second thing you see that appears is a facsimile. We even got
My whole team was counting on me to make a good response video. My wife and my kid were counting on me to make a good response video, and I failed. I didn't make a good video.
Did they see it before it went out?
It was live.
Oh.
It was live.
Hey, Billy, that's going to be the last time you get to cry on the internet, man. That's the last cry on the internet pass that you're going to get. All right? Especially over something so ridiculous.
Find out, I don't think nukes are even real.
What? We got to dive into that. So what made you have that position?
Actually looking into it, the facts around all of it are insane. So Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I think they were all bombed, but they weren't even in the top 10 most bombed. Did you know that?
No.
Tokyo was way more bombed. They weren't even top 10. And the Japanese didn't surrender because of that. It was because the Russians just went into Manchuria and there was no fallout. The fallout was what scared me. I'm like, okay, so it's going to poison the water and the air forever and ever. And then my dad did a speech in Hiroshima or something, and I was scared about the fallout. Yeah. And it's like, oh no, there's no fallout. And then I realized that they never even evacuated. And then I started looking into nuclear bombs, and I'm like, so where is the proof? And then right here in Nevada, they used to blow all of them up. There's no fallout. So I'm like, oh, it's like a psyop. And that's why I'm not even trying to push it on people that they're fake, because I see the game theory of it, where it's like, I have a gun under the table, so do I, let's not go to war. But the fear of it was nuts growing up. There's really no evidence that they exist as described.
Imagine that one day we would be able to download our human brain capacity into Optimus.
Yes. I think that is, I'm not saying this is, I think it is possible, I think, to do that. It is possible.
Which would be a different way of eternal life, because we would also download our personalities into a body.
Yes, we could download the things that we believe make ourselves unique. Now, of course, if you're not in a body anymore, that there's definitely going to be some difference there, you know. So, but as far as preserving our memories, our personality, if you will, I think we could do that.
You think Elon is a good dad?
No, he hasn't been a good dad. The first child was too much with nannies and died in the care of a nanny. Now, what I'm saying, if Elon hears this, he's going to shoot me or something. But anyway, that's what I think. That's no good. They were too rich, too many nannies. Then he had 5 children with the same woman, 5 sons, all brought up. Each one had its own nanny. You followed me?
Mm-hmm.
When they got divorced, the nannies were 6 on this side and 6 on that side. So it was really a weird situation.
Just never really spent time with kids, eh?
No.
Now, you can tell he hasn't talked to his dad in a minute for some odd reason for his dad to be airing him out like that. But I did watch part of that interview, and his dad actually became extremely rich pretty early in life, too. I think he said he was like 25 or something like that before the time he retired himself. I guess it runs in the family.
Okay, these two sites, when used together, can do something really creepy. Now, before I say what they are, whenever I post videos like this, I get people saying like I'm enabling people to do bad stuff, which I hear and understand, but I think people who do bad stuff probably already know things like this exist. It's better for everybody to know about them than just weirdos like me. So here we go. So this first site doesn't have a name, that's just the URL. But what you do is you upload a picture of a key like this, and then you adjust these parameters, and it will do most of it automatically like this. Then you just click get code, and it will tell you this code. Now, if you copy this code and you take it over to this site, keysgen.com, you can go key generator, paste in that code, and then it will give you a full 3D model of the key that you can print out on a 3D printer. If you don't have a 3D printer, you can just take the code to the key cutter and get it made. But basically, yeah, if someone has a picture of your key, they can use these sites to get into whatever the key unlocks. So the more you know, stay safe.
And that's why you see a lot of people switching over to the door that locks with just like your thumbprint or there's like maybe a 4-digit code. The historical key is getting phased out.
Alicia Keys is currently going viral because of her acceptance speech at the Grammys. She went on to thank her family, Clive Davis, Jay-Z, and many other people, including the Most High. But when she said the words Most High, she put up her fingers like this. Now, if you guys know anything about symbolism when it comes to religion, this is a very controversial symbol. And there's a creator here on Instagram who made a video about this symbol in the occult and basically calling her out. And he claims that Swiss Beats, Alicia Keys' husband, messaged him and called him out, basically saying they don't mess with the devil like that. I'll tag him below, but check it out and let me know what you guys think about it.
4 times NASA said that the Earth was flat and non-rotating. The very first requirement for landing an aircraft is that the Earth is flat and non-rotating. This one's in the general equations of motion for a damaged asymmetric aircraft, rigid body equations of motion over a flat, non-rotating Earth. These are all on the NASA website, by the way. You don't have to search hard. There's tons of documents. I just grabbed 4 of them. Another one about aircrafts. It says this simulation assumes a vehicle with 6 degrees of freedom and aerodynamic symmetry in roll, and the missile position in space is computed relative to a flat, non-rotating Earth. This one's on how helicopters work. The helicopter equations of motion are given in body axes with respect to a flat, non-rotating Earth. If you still believe that we live on a globe, I don't even know what to tell you.
The moment you realize you're dreaming, you can do anything. Why? Because dreams aren't built by the senses, they're built by the mind. And once you become lucid, you gain access to the source code, where belief creates reality. How it works. Before bed, set a clear intention. Tonight I will recognize when I'm dreaming. Then meditate. No thoughts, just breath. 5 minutes sounds simple, but it's challenging. If your mind wanders, reset. When your thoughts quiet, set the intention again. During the day, question reality. Is this real or surreal? Inside the dream, spot the glitches. Try to read a clock, it warps. Flip a light switch, it won't work. Pinch your nose and breathe, you still can. Or sometimes it's the entire scene, like being chased by a polar bear. The moment you catch the glitch, you wake up inside the dream. And from that point on, you have full control. After mastering this, you can step into the astral world. Follow at Soul Science Connect for more.
You want to know what's crazy? The higher up we go, like when we fly in a plane, the colder it gets. Yet we're closer to the supposed heat source of the Earth, which is the sun. Now, we know that the closer you get to a heat source, the warmer it is. If there's a heat lamp 10 feet away from me and I start getting closer to it, the warmer it will get. Yet at an altitude of about 35,000 feet, it's about -40 outside. Much colder than the surface of the Earth. And the same goes for the bottom of the oceans. Earth's core is a supposed 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Yet the further we go down, closer to the heat source, the colder it gets. Now I know all the little brainwashed agents of the Matrix are gonna come in here and say, bro, go back to school, you missed science class. Go on Google and tell me that heat is distributed in different ways and all that stuff. But, you know, I can see things very clearly. My mind is not blind, and I understand that that is complete garbage. And everything they tell you is complete garbage. You believe in pseudoscience, I believe in real science. I really hope this one makes you think. Peace and love.
I'm really big on questioning everything. And what he was saying was making perfect sense to me. If you know something I don't, definitely let me know.
Every single one of us is a field that is both the observer, the observed, and the actor. Every one of us is a field, and it doesn't exist in, this field does not exist in space and time. Space-time exists within these fields that we are, is us. So, I mean, this changes the paradigm, right? But we need a change of paradigm, because otherwise, if we are machines, like scientism is telling us, we are going to be taken over by the machines, the artificial intelligence that people will control, powerful people will control, and through those machines they can control us if we don't change our mind of who we are.
It will become a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy.
Will become a self-fulfilling prophecy because we have not done the personal work to understand who we are. and we are not machines.
This is Luke Farrader, a 23-year-old kid from Nebraska working with Elon Musk and Doge to cut wasteful government spending. And last year, he was awarded $700,000 for deciphering an ancient scroll using AI. The scroll was damaged during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, and Luke, with a few classmates, used 3D scans and machine learning to virtually uncrumple the scroll and decipher it. This not only caught the attention of the AI community, but Peter Thiel, who awarded Luke $100,000 to become a Thiel Fellow, where young entrepreneurs are encouraged to pursue their passion like the Ethereum founder and Figma founder. But Luke's now been recruited to work at Doge, where the team's been sleeping in the office, crunching code, and working around the clock to identify waste, fraud, and abuse. And Doge has been under fire for their young age, with people saying they're not qualified. However, Elon seems to disagree, saying we need young guys with a fresh perspective to bring down the machine. And if this kid's smart enough to decipher ancient scrolls with AI, he might be able to crack the government spending problem. What do you think?
These kind of jobs should definitely go to those that are putting their best foot forward and learning it, mastering it, and then, you know, becoming useful about it. So yeah, I like it, but let me know what you think.
I'm going to comment about this, and I'm going to shock you. People from BlackRock are going door to door offering to buy homes now. They say, whatever you do with the insurance company is your business. Fix what you want or don't. Here's a price we're willing to pay for your home now. BlackRock is going door to door. You think this happened by accident? The dams have been emptied by Governor Newsom for no good reason. The hydrants are empty for no good reason. LA had its rainiest season this year since the 20s. Almost 90 years, 100 years ago was the rainiest season, and there's no water in the reservoirs. 3 months ago, State Farm, the big insurer in LA, just happened to cancel everybody's fire policies because the governor decided not to allow State Farm to increase their prices. So people now have no insurance. Do you think this happened by accident? One thing I learned over years on Wall Street, follow the money. Who's going to profit by this? Not who's getting hurt. Who's going to profit by this? BlackRock is going door to door making offers now for cash. Generous. They want to take everybody's homes. This is the business they're in. It's not a secret. This has been highly organized. And as I've been saying, more is...
He was dead serious when he said that we can only retire 10,000 people a month because the retirement paper is kept in a limestone mine.
All the retirement paperwork is manual on paper. It's manually calculated, then written down on a piece of paper. Then it goes down a mine. And like, what do you mean a mine? Like, yeah, there's a limestone mine where we store all the retirement paperwork.
And I found an article that was written in 2014. The government has been trying to digitize this system since the 80s and has wasted over $100 million on the project with no results. We're still doing it manually by hand to this day. When this article was written, they mentioned that there are 600 employees doing this job. And Elon just said today there are 700 people working on this. 11 years later, here we are in 2025, still doing it manually with paper and storing it in a limestone mine. If anybody can't see the value of Doge at this point, you're trying so hard not to.
It was wild that I didn't know how close my own wife was to the Clintons.
That you were married to her?
And well, I was married to her.
How close was she to the Clintons?
I mean, cell phone away, like, or hey, tell Ye to say this away, or hey, go out and use your platform to push the vaccine away.
Clinton flew to his island 26 times. He flew with Epstein. Well, I don't know if he flew to his island, but he flew on Epstein's jet 26 different times. He knew so much.
To restore democracy. This may seem like, well, aren't we in a democracy? To restore democracy. This may seem like, well, aren't we in a democracy?
Any teacher will tell you kids that age simply repeat and do what their parents say and do. So if this little boy felt that big bad bold to say that to the President of the United States of America, that means his daddy has said that multiple times to other people. You like it, I love it.
Detractors, Mr. Musk.
I have to what?
Including a lot of Democrats.
I have detractors?
You do, sir.
I don't believe it.
Say that you're orchestrating a hostile takeover of government and doing it in a non-transparent way. What's your response to that criticism?
Well, first of all, you couldn't ask for a stronger mandate from the public. The public voted, we have a majority of the public voting for President Trump. We won the House, we won the Senate. The people voted for major government reform. There should be no doubt about that. That was on the campaign. The president spoke about that at every rally. The people voted for major government reform, and that's what people are going to get. They're going to get what they voted for. And a lot of times, people that don't get what they voted for, but in this presidency, they are going to get what they voted for. And that's what democracy is all about.
Elon Musk says that we're living in a simulation. He's not the only person that theorizes this. Basically, we're in a video game being controlled by higher beings.
I wish I had a good argument against that hypothesis, and I do not. If you're playing Mario, Super Mario, and there he is jumping.
Well, right now it's Fortnite, honey.
Oh, Fortnite, okay. If whatever is your game, if you were in there and you were a scientist, you would be exploring the rules that apply to that game, right? How high can you jump? How fast do bullets fly? And you'd make a canon of laws of physics. That would be your world. And then you'd wonder, am I real or am I not? Now watch, someone programs a universe, and in there they gain maturity and technology, and then they program a universe, and then they program a universe. So you can have nested, simulated universes all the way down, but there's only one real universe. Now throw a dart at all those universes, which one are you most likely to hit? A simulated universe.
So can we simulate?
I wish I had a good argument against that, and I do not.
14-year-old orca in France is the first ever to be recorded saying human words. The orca can say hello, bye-bye, count to 3, and say her trainer's name, Amy.
The whale blows air through her nasal passages to produce sound. Helen Briggs from our partners at the BBC explains.
She may not win any prizes for diction, but this teenage killer whale is certainly impressing scientists. They say she's the first of her kind to be heard copying human speech.
Hello? Hello? 1, 2. 1, 2.
And she can also blow raspberries. Researchers say whales and dolphins are among the few animals other than humans that can learn a new sound just by hearing it.
See, I always knew dolphins were the smartest out of the animal kingdom, but this actually takes it up another level. If you've never heard of dolphin-assisted birth, you should go Google that, check it out. It's pretty amazing.
We live in a simulation and I can easily prove it for you. How can you guys see all of my head movements even though I have this huge towel between me and the mirror?
I don't know, and it just light reflecting?
It is light reflecting. It's light reflecting off a reality that you guys behind the camera and you are creating because it's being viewed. If you guys were not there to view it just like a simulation, it would save resources and it would not generate that reflection. It goes to the double slit theory. It's the same thing. Let me show you. In this video, it will explain the double slit theory where light and reality change based on whether or not it's being viewed.
Beams of light particles called photons at a screen with 2 slits. You'd expect to see 2 strips to correspond with the 2 slits. Instead, we see a pattern of light and dark bands. This suggests that light behaves like waves that pass through both slits simultaneously, interfering with each other to create the pattern on the second screen. However, when scientists used a measuring device to observe the slit that each photon passed through, the interference pattern disappeared and two strips appeared. The act of observing which slit it went through changed the behavior of the photons. No one knows why observing a particle causes its behavior to change.
Now that is exactly what happened in that bathroom. Because it was being recorded and also my wife was watching it, reality changed to where you guys were able to see both sides of the tile. Now that 100% proves that we live in a simulation. Now that doesn't mean that there's not a God. That means that God is the programmer.
Drake is Uncle Sam. He is a Fed, he's an op, he's a plant, and they paid an awful lot of money for you to like him. The reason why Kendrick hates Drake so much is because Drake is his gatekeeper. Drake was his introduction to the great American game. And he tells us in Buried Alive way back in 2011. Let me show you. Basically, in the song, he details a secret sit down with Drake where Drake initiates him into the industry and tells him what he's allowed to rap about and what he's allowed to talk about, and that he has to change the way that he raps. So the whole thing about Buried Alive is he has to bury his message alive because he's not allowed to rap about whatever he wants anymore. Now he's in the game. They don't let you in unless you play it the way that they want you to play it. So his entire career is the art installation. His entire career is the think piece, okay? So you have to go back and you have to listen. Squabble Up is referencing the first time that he took shots at Drake, which was back on Buried Alive, and then he got Drake to sneak diss himself on Poetic Justice. Then
I went to the moon twice. I went to Mars like 17, 18, countless times. They found my damn, I left, I smashed me. I had to smash somebody out there, knock a nigga head. I knocked all his face off, and they just started spotted the face.
Go back to the full screen.
They just spotted the face from space. They've seen it? Huh? Yeah. They're not seeing the face, and now they done put the all on blast. Look at his face on Mars. Wayne soon and knocked it head off. Look at his face stuck on it. Now they trying to lock me up way on Saturn and shit. It's crazy.
I know the joints out there is crazy. Mars and shit.
Nah, actually it's not, man. It's ratchet out there, yeah. It's ratchet, yeah.
No bitches like that now. Just straight.
Yeah, man.
Nah, okay.
I know there's a chick named Marshana. You have it. Marshana.
Marshana.
She from Upper Mars. Upper Mars, like they got that's that's the coolest side. That's where the green people at. We ain't raising now. We got red people out there. They got blood. They got green people. But that's where the red people at is kind of cooler. Where the green folks at is a little more. So that's where Marshana from. That part of Mars.
Hey, if I'm gonna believe anybody about going to Mars, it's definitely gonna be Lil Wayne. He's been saying he's a Martian since way back in the day. If you know, you know. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books. Thanks again for watching another one with me. Thanks again for helping me reach 100,000 subscribers. And just remember, this isn't the end. Consistency always breeds better results. And I hope you guys have a great Sunday. If you haven't already, go and smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button. Join the iTrack fam. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.